Hello, this is GenXPCGamerGuy. I have been playing an independently made tycoon-style PC game on and off for the past 2 years. It is called Production Line. I do plan to put out a formal review of the game in another video because the engineer in me finds this game kinda cool. The purpose of this video is to show how this game plays when you first start out, and then show much later in the game as your company has matured with more modern factory stuff and lots of options on what vehicles to make and how to make them. Okay, let us start. Alright, here we go. Production line. Let's load a game and show what a factory looks like, what you can build in a factory in the very beginning, and what kind of vehicles are initially there. So this is a setup. Let me show the blueprints. So you got chassis assembly, fit body, painting area, fit engine area, fit accessories, fit electronics, and then, inspection at the end. So there's only one car style. It's very, very plain. So what I'll do here is we'll start up a production, and this is showing the chassis assembly. There's, looks like 5 different parts of it. And I'll release one vehicle. And you can see on the conveyor belts there's parts showing up when they're needed. So there's one vehicle released. It's already in the next stage. So here comes the next one. And I'll finish it now. So there we go. 2 cars being released. So there's a view. You can pull back and see where the cars are. So the next station is fit body, and it has many stages, but it looks like it takes about 30 minutes. So it's doing a lot of things to assemble that vehicle. I was in the middle of researching something when I set this up, so research popped up. Not going to be concerned about that right now. So vehicle details, the sedan, current price, powertrain. The next stage is painting. So that's 34 minutes. It has several stages. It tells you, the game tells you right there what stage they're in, dry undercoat. And the other vehicle is working its way through paint now. So let's just wait. Well, one looks like it's red already. I keep clicking on it, seeing if there's any changes. So it's almost done. Here it goes. It's going to the next stage. So now it's fit engine stage. And again, there's many steps involved with this. The game tells you, if a particular station is working on something. So the other vehicle's on its way, and there it came out. It's green. And more research. So research is going quickly. Alright, the red vehicle's coming out of fit engine. It's going into fit accessories, so that's like lights, seats, windscreens. The other vehicle's going through. Alright, so it's going to the inspection, quality check. And this has many stages. Performance check, emissions check. So it takes about 5 minutes to get through that. And then the final stage is export. This is where you set it up to sell. So another research while we're waiting. As you can see, there's again, not much in the way of what we could sell. That was the run in the beginning tech, and with what you can initially do in production line. Now, if we go to something more mature later on in the game where I have an advanced factory and things of that nature, so I'll load that now. So yeah, just looks a lot more detailed. The colors indicate the type of thing that fit into previous categories that you saw on the more simpler things. So If you look here, it's more specific. So when the previous stations were doing multiple things, now you break it up so that your different areas of your factory are very specialized, and it ends up working much quicker that way. So you can have fewer of something that takes less time and more of what takes more time. So these are the different vehicle options I currently have. I froze production and I cleared out the whole factory at the moment. So we'll start one SUV, one pickup truck, and one minivan. Actually, I think I got a sports car in here. Hold on a second. So pull back a little bit. So next, after building the axles, fit undercarriage. And then just keep moving on to the next station. And any open slots, the game pulls it to the next available one. It's AI is pretty good at that. So fitting the fuel tank station. I prefer to follow the truck. If you see how it went there, the first item that was built actually is lagging behind the truck. So we'll follow the truck. So it's at the fit body shell area, so it only takes a few minutes for that area. Moves on to the next station rather quickly. If I pull back, you can see there's 3 vehicles and one is in the lead right now. And we're up to fit trunk, only about 2 minutes and some odd time. And it's kind of cool. The graphics are actually good at this stage where you can see the details of, what the vehicle would look like in this stage of a real factory. And I've been to a real Mercedes plant in Germany, and it was fascinating to watch all these different stations do their job. Now, this isn't what it would look like in that German plant, but it's kind of neat to think of it in almost the same way. Different stations doing different things, like their fit bottom trim, and then the next station is fit the front arc, and then fit the rear arc. And the difference between when you first start out and now this vehicle has features, and you can see it in the vehicle details down there. It's added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different things that didn't exist on the basic car. So it starts at the bottom with the basic car, but there's the aluminum body, the power tailgate, the spoiler, bull bars, parking sensors, split front vent. So you research this stuff, and then you have to actually build the stations that can handle that. So the initial stations cannot build specialty items, just basic bare bones car items. So here's fit roof, and the other one's catching up. So it just put a sunroof on there. Let's take a look at the next station. Fit door panels. I don't think there's anything special about door panels, so well, somehow keyless entry. Yeah, there we go. Car alarm, lane departure warning. They got added. There's fit the windows, so it's the side windows, not the front windshield for some reason. It's interesting. Probably still to work on the car. So now it gets painted. So it start with paint undercoat, and it takes about 3 minutes to do that. The next station probably dries it, if I remember correctly. I usually set up these whole factories and forget about all the stations. I just look for points where the production slows down or backs up. So I'll show that later when we're done here. But there's the dry undercoat. So it takes 9 minutes. So painting took 3 minutes. This takes 9 minutes. So build 3 times as many the undercoat dryers that you need than putting the undercoat on. So the next stage will be painting. Before the station did it all at once. So here we go. Now we're in the paint finish. And that's 4 minutes, 15 seconds. And you can see each station, if you have waiting upgrades, you can click on it, but we'll just we'll skip to that later on different things. So it now looks like the final color it's supposed to have, but the drying, again, look, 11 minutes. So you build a lot more of the dryers than the painters. That's how you break up the what used to take a long time for one car and 4 different items. You break up the 4 items and you make it go a little smoother. That's more or less what a modern production factory would do, but now I have this really long conveyor going here, so I'm surprised that the truck is still in the lead here. Now, this is a smart terminal up ahead. This is going to determine if the model has polish, so it takes it to a polishing station. And it did. It needed polish, so it should be showing up in the features list about polish there, polished paintwork. So the convertible too. Apparently that model has a polished paintwork as well. So fit the powertrain. So the feature added was internal combustion engine. There are other options as you develop the technology, electric. I think there's another, like sci-fi kind of thing. But I'll save that for some other time. I'm just showing, what it takes for a car to go through factory here. So the next stage is fit the brakes. Well, that'd be a good idea. Convertible's catching up. So we're fitting the wheels, so you'll see the graphics for the wheels without tires on it, but the graphics for the wheels now, look, it has wheels. And the convertible is right behind it. So this actually fits the tires. Fit the steering column. The steering wheel. So somewhere in there the tire pressure sensor was added. So next is, this is a deluxe model. It had a heated steering wheel. So fitting the lights. Looks like next is fitting the horn. And you'll hear a little bit of special effect usually. So, yeah. It's putting the horn on there. This is fitting the seats. Good idea to sit down in the vehicle. And the next station, it's going, it's going, it's going. Where will it stop? So those look like more sitting, fitting seat stations. So obviously that takes a while compared to other stations. So I have a lot more of those. So next is the fit the windscreen. So the graphics on this will show that the windscreen pops in. There's the windscreen. Next station looks like a, whether or not it needs air conditioning. Well, it looks like it needed air conditioning with this model design, so it's getting air conditioning. If the vehicle didn't need air conditioning, then it would be moved forward beyond this. So now the next station, next to it is those self-contained power units. You make your own power. It's cheaper than purchasing it from elsewhere. But. So fitting electrical components doesn't take that long. And normally I would play this much faster, so we're just slowing this down for purposes of demonstration here. Fitting a computer, 24 seconds. I don't know if that's real life, but I guess it's all proportional. Now we're going by previous drying stations. Now it looks like we're headed to inspection. The first inspection, visual inspection, doesn't take terribly long, less than 5 minutes. This is where these next few stations where it determines if the vehicle needs to fix defects. So let's see, this one is performance check, so that takes less than a minute and a half, or about a minute and a half. And emissions check, a minute and a half. After that, if the vehicle has no defects, then it's going to reach this junction, so it's moving forward, so it has no defects. And there's another research donut. Now the next step is paperwork, because everything you've done on the vehicle needs to be accounted for in paperwork. And very last things is rapid shipping, so you ship it to the dealer that needs it. So let's look at the other vehicles. So let's go back. Okay, so there's a vehicle down here in inspection, and it's a sports vehicle. It has lots of options. Apparently it doesn't have any defects as well. And the last vehicle. So this one apparently has a defect. Good. So this is reworking, fixing defects. Now, sometimes you see vehicles with multiple defects. So I set up a loop in here so that it goes to another station. If it sees a defect, it loops itself back into another reworking station. But otherwise, that vehicle only had one defect, so it gets its paperwork. And it heads off to be sold. So rapid shipping is 45 seconds. There it goes. And goodbye. That was a more complicated later on factory than initially starting out. So it gives you a good idea what this game is capable of. Specializations, research. So this is what that same board looks like in the middle of being productive. So you can look for bottlenecks. You can set the production schedules per station and, you know, concentrate on what you want. So if I have making too many vans, I just shut down the van production, let it cycle through. The game will tell you how many you're making of any given type. So yeah, look for bottlenecks. So it looks very efficient except for somewhere in the beginning, but look at all the cars waiting to be sold, and it tells you what's in the stock room, the markets, if you're making any profit. Sometimes you'll take a loss on purposeful vehicles. There's some achievements if you send a bare bones car through, but they're shown down below in the gray. That's it. Thank you. Again, I plan to put out a formal review of the game in another video. I am GenXPCGamerGuy, and thanks for watching my video.